Okay, welcome to our information session on the Illinois State University alumni travel trip to the Galapagos Islands. My name is Chris Harding. I am the Executive Director of Alumni Engagement, and thank you so much for being here. As we are launching this second alumni travel trip, our first trip was a few weeks ago to Northern Italy. So what we've done this evening is I've invited our vendor from Orbridge. Tonight we have with us Ashley Perkins, and she is going to walk through the details of the trip with us and answer any questions that you might have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Ashley introduce herself. I will monitor the Q&A for you all and any questions that come through on the chat. So with that, welcome, Ashley. We're happy to have you. I also have another staff member here. Rachel Kobus is here with us this evening from Alumni Engagement. So thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Rachel and Kristen. This is exciting. I work with a lot of the Illinois schools, Northwestern, University of Chicago, University of Illinois. So this is a real fun treat for me. I've also been on this trip a couple of times. Most recently, I took my 11-year-old son, was 11 at the time, and it really was so wonderful to see it through his eyes. I really can't recommend it. I really can't recommend it enough. I've been with Orbridge for about 6 years now. I came over from the alumni side. I was the travel program director at Tulane in New Orleans, which is where I live, and came over to work for Orbridge. So it's exciting. It's been a fun time to get there. So is it okay if I share my screen now, Kristen? Okay, great. Okay, so this is it, your Galapagos Islands trip, January 31st to February 7th. That is a wonderful time to be down in the Galapagos. You know, it's on the other side of the equator, so it's always pretty temperate down there. Sort of think California weather, sort of chillier in the evening, and, you know, warm during the day with a lot of sun, obviously. The winter, though, is actually a warmer month, and really where you can tell most of the difference is when you're in the water. In January, February, I was able to go in just a bathing suit, whereas if I was in there, when I was there in the summer, I did wear a wetsuit. Temperature fluctuates about 10 degrees, but it's really about how comfortable you are. But the weather is always beautiful there. It very rarely rains. It's just lovely. Just sunscreen is a must because you are right near the equator. A little bit about Orbridge. So we work with about 140 alumni associations, museums, aquariums across the country, and actually across Canada as well. We've been in the business since 2008, and we are based out of Bainbridge Island, which is a little island off the coast of Seattle. We are really proud of our professional travel directors who are on every single one of our tours. We really do try to hire within the communities that we go to. We are very pretty passionate about, you know, sort of not being a tourist and really giving back to the communities that we are just so lucky to visit. And we are a full pre-departure service. We really try to do everything from soup to nuts. We want you to feel taken care of from the minute you call and inquire about the tour to when you put down a deposit to when you are, you know, going through the packing. We send you a list of books to read. If you book before a certain date, we send you what's called an expedition library, which is usually about 3 or 4 books and a field guide about the area that you are about to visit. So guests really, really like that. This is your itinerary. So a fun thing about the Galapagos is that they count footsteps. So they only allow a certain number of footsteps on each of their islands every day. So because of this, we offer 2 different itineraries. The Northern Island itineraries, which you were doing, which is my favorite. I do think it has a better, like a more diverse group of wildlife. And then we do a Western itinerary as well. Some years we'll do a Southern, and it's just really, they're so protective of their wildlife there and just sort of their way of life that's the way that we have to do it. And it's lovely. You'll barely ever see another person when you're on these hikes. It's very much spread out. It's done very, very well. So I'll take you a little bit through this itinerary as well. And I have you minimize, Kristen. So if you do have a question, just I guess I'll see a hand or something. Okay. This is the ship you'll be on. It's the Isabella II. It is a 40-passenger expedition style vessel. It is very, very comfortable. It is very much geared towards out, being outdoors. You can eat your meals up on top of the deck. We have an all Ecuadorian staff and as well as our naturalists that are coming from that community. Every single day that you're on this ship, on and off this ship, there will be opportunities for hiking, kayaking. Almost every day you'll be able to snorkel, or you can get on the Zodiac and go for the excursions that way. If there's a day that you're not feeling that active, you can take the glass bottom boat out. If there's a day where you just really want to get your heart rate up, there'll be an opportunity to hike really fast. We really do try to make it a choose your own adventure experience when you're on this ship. If there's a day where you just wanted to take in the sights and have a caipirinha on the deck, you can certainly do that as well. It really is wonderful. All the staterooms are pretty spacious. The food is excellent. Can't say enough about it. You're going to come back and say there's too much food. That's what we get. That's our major feedback from the food. There's an observation area, 2 bars, a lounge, a beautiful dining room, a library, a shaded sun deck, and a hot tub and a small fitness room. So when you arrive, you'll spend 2 nights in Quito, in Old Quito. You get there, usually flights arrive into Quito pretty late into the night, starting at around 9, going all the way till maybe 11. And your home base will be Casa Gangotena. This is this beautiful historic hotel in the heart of downtown historic Quito. The next morning, you'll meet everyone downstairs for breakfast, and there'll be a small briefing, and then you'll embark on historic Old Town. There'll be a full day of touring. There's a beautiful lunch at an archaeological museum. I don't know if you have dinner on your own that evening, but if so, the concierge will set you up for success there. There's so much great food. Even if you choose to stay at the hotel, there's a beautiful rooftop bar and also a lovely restaurant at Casa Gangotena. After your day of touring, you'll spend the night at Casa Gangotena, and then you will embark on your short flight to Santa Cruz, and you'll arrive into the Galapagos Islands. It's very exciting. The first thing you do is you get on a bus. You sort of like land in sort of a beachy area where the airport is, and then you'll board a bus and you'll go into the rainforest, and you'll see yourself going up and up, and the climate really changes from sort of like dry and arid, beautiful, into like this moist, just lovely rainforest. It's a beautiful drive, and you'll arrive at the tortoise sanctuary, where they will outfit you with boots, sunscreen, anything you'll need for that day. And it's just a short tour around, and you'll see these giant tortoises living in the wild, some of which are over 100 years old. Really, really incredible. My son wanted to stay there all day long. We had to pull him out. It was so wonderful. You'll then, on the way back down, you'll you'll visit the Charles Darwin Research Center, and then you will board the ship in Puerto Ayora. Excuse me. And then this is just a couple of stops that you'll make. Every day looks a little different in terms of sort of the terrain that you'll see, the wildlife that you'll see. I did want to bring attention to the picture in the top left. That is what a Zodiac landing looks like. So the ship can never really pull right up to the islands. You'll see it off in the distance in the picture in the bottom right. You'll get on a Zodiac, and some days you'll have what's called a wet landing, where you will have to get out in about shin length, shin height water. So a lot of people ask us about footwear. You will want something that, like a Keen, Keen sandal. This is all in our pre-departure stuff, by the way, but just keep that in mind. Something that has sufficient bottom to where you're comfortable in hiking with it, but you will want to get it wet. Now, you don't have to. Some people do take their shoes off, get out, put their shoes back on. That's fine. I just find that it skips a step if you have a comfortable walking sandal. You will be fitted for a wetsuit, like a shorty wetsuit they call when you get onto the boat. You'll also be fitted for your snorkel and your face mask. If you do wear glasses, we do suggest that you either bring contacts or if you have a specialized mask as well. But you'll have so many opportunities to snorkel. So make sure you ask any questions if you have anything about that. These are just some of the beautiful things that you will see. Our guides are so good making sure that you check off every box. I mean, there's definitely a certain number of animals that you'll want to see. You'll see so many Galapagos, excuse me, blue-footed boobies. You'll see some frigate birds. Anybody who's interested in birds, this is just a wonderful, wonderful tour. You're going to notice that the animals are so plentiful and they're also not at all afraid of humans. So you're snorkeling and you can come face to face with a sea turtle. They're just not afraid. You'll have Galapagos sea lions swimming all around you. It is quite something. When you're on these hikes, oftentimes you'll have to step over a sea lion or step over an iguana. It's quite something that they just really have no natural predators there, so they're not at all afraid. The only rule is you can't touch them. Just some more opportunities. Like I mentioned, that's that glass bottom boat on the top left. Some opportunities to snorkel with sea lions. We'll visit these beaches. We were lucky to go the last time I was there. A mother had just given birth, so we got to sort of watch that from afar. It was really, really neat. These iguanas. And does anybody have any questions about the main tour before I start talking about the extensions?
We did receive one question. Is
Sure.
there an opportunity to scuba dive? I'm certified.
I don't know the answer to the question. I'll find that out. I'll get that. I'll get her email from you, and I'll direct email you directly. It'd be a wonderful place to scuba for sure. So Mashpee Lodge is a this beautiful eco lodge. It's about a 3-hour drive from Quito, and it is again up in the Ecuadorian rainforest. It's beautiful. I was actually just there. It's this huge glass lodge built into the side of the mountain, and it really is about being out in nature. A lot of opportunities to hike. They have a thing called a cloud bike where you're actually on a bike, sort of on a tightrope. It sounds kind of scary, but it's pretty lovely. Through the top of the rainforest, you're actually in the clouds. Opportunities to see, I think, 12 or 15 different species of hummingbirds. Just incredible. Wonderful meals, wonderful cocktails, just beautiful 5-star resort in the middle of the Ecuadorian rainforest. It's just beautiful. Let me see. I'll X out of here and I'll share some more information about um, Machu Picchu if anybody has any questions about that. I felt like I went very fast while I pull this up. Is there any other questions?
Seems like mostly about scuba. So I've got
Okay.
two people interested in the scuba question.
I will find that out ASAP.
I don't see any other questions right now.
Okay. No Komodo dragons in the Galapagos. I'm seeing the things now.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what we can do to bring some in, maybe. Um, so like I said, Mashpee Lodge is 4 days in they call it sort of the forest canopy and exploration. It's beautiful. I highly recommend Googling Mashpee Lodge. It really is something to see. People just really, they love it. They don't ever say a word about the 3-hour drive because when they get there, it really does sort of take your breath away. So the post tour is to Machu Picchu in the Sacred Valley. I would say probably of all of the tours that we offer, this is among our most popular. It is 5 days. Excuse me. You fly into Lima and then you do a day in Lima and then you'll see Cusco and the Sacred Valley and then on to Machu Picchu where you're there for the last 2 days and then back to Lima and Cusco. It's wonderful. It's very well priced. It makes for sort of a long trip, but people take it again and again. We actually have people, we have some of our partners who do Western Islands one year and then Northern Islands, and they sort of switch them up. And people will go again and again just to see the other islands, but they almost always go back to Mashpee. I will say that. I know I ran through it kind of quick. Is there anything else?
Kelly, can you cover, just because I just went on the Northern Italy trip, can you talk
Yeah.
about Orbridge's travel assistance with airlines and transportation once you land? Just all of those details are helpful, I think, for our alums.
Yeah, absolutely. So we really tried to do it's a turnkey operation, like we said. From the time you make a deposit, we'll be in pretty constant contact with you. We do 3 sets of documents. Each has a packing list, sort of what each will be in a little bit more detail of what to expect each day. You are met upon, I think in Quito, it's a little different. You go collect your luggage, go through customs, and as soon as you walk out customs, there is somebody there with a red Orbridge sign who will guide you the rest of the way. You will not have to take your bags or anything. All the porterages are covered from that perspective. Um, They'll be waiting for you at Casa Gangotena. We'll have a bag drop the morning that you leave for the Galapagos. The next time you see your bags will be on the ship in your stateroom. So it really is, we really do try to take care of everything. All of that gratuity, all of the bus rides, all of that is included. The only thing that is not included is gratuities on the ship, and that is at your discretion. If anybody, we do very much take care of that staff, but if you feel like the bartender treated you very well, you had a particular server who remembered, your favorite drink or whatever, right? We always encourage it, but it is none of it is required.
Thank you. My
Yeah.
recent experience, so can you talk about the advantages between booking through Orbridge and booking on your own? Because you do have both options when it comes to airfare. And
Oh, sure.
just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So if you, we have an air department that we work hand in hand with that will help you every step of the way. When you are booking, we do have a window in which we ask you to arrive in order to take advantage of the free transfer to the airport, and that's to and from. If you book with us, we'll make sure you're in that window. Regardless, sorry. No, there is not a weight limit on baggage. They do suggest just one and one checked bag and one carry-on. And then I would also suggest some sort of a day pack for the day for when you are that you want to take with you for when you are hiking around. So booking with us, we do make sure that you are within those windows, regardless of if you book with us or book on your own. We do ask for your flight itineraries beforehand, as well as your record locator numbers. Our folks on the ground are tracking your flight. We know where you are at all times of the day. So there's no need to panic if one of your flights is canceled or, you missed a connection. We know where you are. We're going to make sure that if you did miss the transfer window, we're going to take care of it. We'll have some options for you, or we'll tell you what the best option is for a taxi. But rest assured, we know where you are at all times.
There's a question in the chat about flights. Can you review the costs? And I think most importantly, the breakdown of cabin rooms and the costs, single, double, all of that. And then
Sure.
there's a question in the chat about flights or additional. So can you review that as well?
So sure, internal flights are included. The external flights to and from Quito are not. So sure, let me go over the different categories. There's a few different categories. You are doing this in 2026, correct? Sorry.
Correct.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just pull up your departure if you don't mind.
While you find that, I will make a comment on
Yeah.
the customer service. So for those of you who are interested in this trip, I can speak to the customer service of Orbridge. We had an alum on this recent trip whose flight was canceled. And I called Orbridge and immediately, and they helped him find another flight, but also we were traveling together from the airport to the place where we were staying and his flight arrival time was going to be different from the rest of the group, Orbridge made accommodations to get him to where we were staying, no questions asked. So I experienced that firsthand in being on our most recent trip, and it was very, very helpful.
That's great to hear. Yeah, we do have 24-hour customer service. Somebody's always there. We also have dedicated folks in our guest services. We make sure that everybody that's going to answer your call in guest services has been there, has been on the ship, so you can ask very intimate questions about hair dryers and where you can put your luggage. They've all been there. They've all experienced it, and we try to make them experts on where they're talking to you about. So there are we have a couple of premium suites, and then it goes all the way down to a classic twin. A classic twin is starting at $73.95. And most of the cabins are built for two, private and suite bathroom and everything, but and two large wardrobes. There's plenty of storage. Bathrooms are comfortable. I mean, it's a ship, but the bathrooms are comfortably sized, I think, as are the beds. Some of the beds are fixed. Some of them can be made into a matrimonial bed, which is two twins, pushed together. Some have a sitting room. So there's a lot of different options for you depending on what you want in your cabin.
Any other common questions that you can think of, Ashley, in these webinars that you get?
It's so funny. The common question we get is really about packing, but generally we're doing these webinars after, about a week or two before. But no, I mean, just, the Galapagos is really something special. They really did a good job, I think, during COVID when they didn't have a ton of travelers, just really maintaining their Ecuador in general did a very good job of making sure that the Galapagos remained funded, and all the animals stayed healthy. And then, is that another question? Sorry.
Yeah.
There's no hotel costs. So the price that you see maybe on a brochure is based on so it's per person based on double occupancy. There's no hotel cost. The only thing that is not included in the price that you see is airfare to and from Quito. Does that help?
Yes.
Sure.
That's what my experience was. We, for the main trip that we went on, everything was covered, including gratuities outside of the ship costs that Ashley's speaking about. It included our accommodations. It included the meals that are listed on the brochure, all of the activities, the transportation. And wherever we went, in Italy, we were in a very nice BMW van. I don't know exactly what the transportation will be in Ecuador. I'm sure it's of the finest.
It's similar. It's similar. We
Very
do try
well
to make
done.
sure everybody's very comfortable for sure. There'll always be water on hand. I think the
Yes.
thing that makes this trip the most popular is, I think, not only out seeing the wildlife, but just that, like I mentioned before, you can choose your own adventure. Every day there's something else to see. So it speaks to everyone, from people who are just really out to get exercise every day to those who maybe are mobility challenged and just are there to enjoy the sights. We really try to make sure that everybody has the same special experience. And also it's fun every day. You'll sort of check off what you'll see. And in the evenings, the naturalists will sort of go over the wildlife that we saw, and everybody checks it off on their card. And it's just sort of a neat way to see that. Sort of, it's like what they do in Kenya for the big five.
There's another question in the chat.
Sure.
Do you see that?
Oh no, I don't see it.
Oh,
Sorry.
so it's $6,000 per person based on 2 people per room.
I don't know where the 6,000 is coming from, but
well, it's 5,990. It's like round.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, per person based on 2 people per room. Correct.
I know you mentioned, while it looks like someone else is typing in while you're talking. Can you talk about a little bit about the selection of the tour guides that you guys hire? Um, oh, wait, here's the question.
So
So
single person. Yes, there's a single supplement. So the single supplement is about 11,000.
if you're
It's about
traveling,
75% of. You wouldn't have to pay the full.
so if there's two people in a room, it's roughly $6,000 per person. If you're a single traveler, it's just under 12,000
Correct.
plus
In the
airfare.
standard cabin, correct.
Anyway, can you please speak to the tour guides that you hire? I thought they were very well informed.
Yeah.
And you pick travelers or tour guides who actually live there or are very, very familiar with the vicinity.
We do. I mean, I can't think of a tour guide that we employ right now that is not from there, or at least from Quito. They're definitely all from Ecuador and have studied there and are so, so passionate and so proud of where they are. A lot of them are just either sort of just out of a PhD program or in a PhD program, or maybe they're coming out and they want to focus on a specific area like avian. We have a lot of people who are birders who go on this trip. So we have some of those folks as well, but we do make sure that everybody that we hire is sort of from the area, and we do expect a certain level of education with it. I mean, it's definitely we've made some lifelong friends here. Some of our guides who have been with us for a while have traveled on a lot of our other programs to Alaska, to the Galapagos. We like them to see what else we do in other parts of the world. But they're so knowledgeable of the unique flora and fauna that's endemic to the Galapagos. It's just really interesting. And there'll be some folks that are just into, water sports, and they're very good at navigating those little glass bottom boats around all the little caves and everything. They've grown up in the area. They're super passionate about it. We can't say enough great things about them. They get really high marks.
There's one more question. There's another question about the internet and the phones work.
So, it is generally an unplugged trip. When you go onto some of the islands, there will be some cellular service. In Quito, you will have cellular service roaming and you'll have Wi-Fi at the property. Once you board the ship, it is a little spotty. There is some Wi-Fi that you can connect to, but it won't be anything. You won't be able to do any streaming or any upload, anything. You will be able to send a text. But it's based on wherever sort of we have cellular service, it's getting a little bit better every time we go, but just for safety reasons, we do say it is an unplugged trip. I see another question coming through.
Yeah, it's coming. The last time we ran a trip, travel insurance, can you cover that a little bit? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
If
That's a
you'd
good
like to
question.
have a roommate assigned to you, we can certainly keep that on file. And if we have someone else that calls and inquires about the same thing, we will introduce the two of you. We don't assign roommates generally, of
like roommate assignments when we were in college?
right. We don't do that.
No.
I'm sorry. Will you repeat the question that you asked me before?
Travel insurance and such.
So I'm not sure. I'm sorry, since Bobby, or do you guys offer your own travel insurance?
There is travel insurance listed on our
Okay.
website, Redbirds, if you are interested. So that's all listed in the FAQs on our website. I just want to make sure that you cover that. You are able to
I mean, we
review that.
certainly we very much employ people to, especially this day and age, to buy travel insurance. It's really it's a pretty nominal fee.
Yeah.
For what you get. But Marilyn, please let us know if you just call us, send us an email. We'll definitely keep it flagged. It's in big red on top of whether or not your pending reservation if you were looking for a roommate. Chances are it'll happen. I mean, it may not be from Illinois State. There's a couple of other. So if you're open to that, we'll certainly let you know.
Looks like there's a couple more questions coming through. Carol and Marilyn.
Kristen, how long have you guys been having a travel program? Is this relatively new for you?
This is a brand new launch. We launched Northern Italy in
Oh,
January, so our first trip was just a few weeks ago.
exciting. And it was Northern
Yeah,
Italy. Oh, that's
yes,
great.
it was
Oh,
phenomenal.
fantastic. Is there a deadline for signing up for the trip? So let's see where you are.
Carolyn, just so you know, the website is the Illinois State website, and I can put it in the chat for you.
So generally, we'll book until we're full. I will say that the full amount is due 90 days before embarkation or before you leave. So that would sort of be definitely the last time, the last days to sign up. So 90 days, that's about sometime. No, early November. You're very welcome. And
Looking and
Kristen, I
seeing.
can give you my email address as well as Bobby's too. So if there's any questions that come up after this,
I have
just
your email
please.
address.
Yeah,
I
let
know
me
how to
know.
reach you. I got you.
Like I said, I've been on this tour before. It's wonderful. I can't say enough about it. There is something really special to those islands, and it is something as how they've been able to keep them precious like they are. Counting the footsteps, the not letting you touch any of the animals. It really is something. It's something that really hasn't changed much in the past 20 years, which is nice to see for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining our webinar this evening. You all have my contact information. What I try to do on these trips is stay in touch. So once we have more bookings, I typically keep in touch with those who have booked, and so that everyone can meet one another and develop that camaraderie first. And I do schedule that with our Orbridge representative so that if there's any travel questions, they can be answered. If you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to email me and I will forward them to Ashley or Robert, our travel partners. And so I hope that this helped this evening, and we hope to have another one of these because I'd like to market this. Please share this with your friends. I am not, can be alumni, friends, family, and anyone who you feel like might be fun to travel with. So it's not just limited to alumni. So please feel free to share with your friends. Anyway, thanks so much for joining and have a great night. Thank you, Ashley. Have a great night.